Hey guys, this is Statton.
Excuse me, sir. May I have some more?
Boy.
Welcome to another Heart to Heart with Statton. Today I'll be doing a part 2 of the video I did last time, but this time we have a special guest, which is Lil, who is starting a gaming channel of her own. I'll leave a link at the end of the video to her channel. Uh, she uh, she actually wanted to put in some of her input into this, which is, I wouldn't say this is a debate. This is just something for us both to learn from. And before we actually begin the subject, I would just like to say one thing I like about Lil is the fact that even when we disagree on things, we never take it to heart. We never honestly uh, get to the point where we're at each other's throats. We've never ended our friendship, or we're ever in danger of ending our friendships over it. And that's what I enjoy, is the fact that whether if we agree or disagree, we're still friends and we can still carry this on in an adult manner. Now, with that said, here is Lil.
Won't. Would not do it for you. Sorry, I had to. uh,
Understood.
hey, if I don't make these heart to hearts fun, then it's what fun is it for me? And as for the whole gaming channel thing, technically the channel's always been up, but it's just been edited to take out my face entirely. Wahaha. So anybody who knows my face from before, don't mention it. I'll kill you. No, I'm not joking. Anyway, that being said, the gaming channel is going to be like Let's Play, stuff like that, but it still has a lot of my old stuff on there, which is cringy as all hell. I'll try to monitor my cussing for you, so you're welcome. Um, but, yeah, so, I mean, keep an eye out for it. So thank you for sharing all that.
Now, since I already said my piece on the latest video, I think it's only fair to let you have the first go on your commentary on your thoughts on the matter.
Okie dokie. Are you following me, you stalker?
Yeah, I decided since you're faster at building things, I'll just follow you around and watch you build.
Aw, you're so sweet. Yeah, I guess, you brought up, I'm not sure how you got brought up with it, but you kind of started off your video last time basically stating that, uh, somebody came up to you with the concern of their child or teenager not behaving
Multiple
really
people,
well.
actually.
Multiple people. Okay, my bad. Well, okay. Well, I don't know. I got the impression that was under one child, but if it's multiple, whatever. It is what it is. Um, and basically said teenagers are being dramatic. Maybe you didn't say those words, but that's the impression that I got. And like they're getting upset over situations like their friends no longer talking to them and then wanting them off themselves. And I'll try to be cautious here because I know how the internet is with the whole
And at this
passive
point,
away shit.
I don't believe in censoring. So if YouTube has
I
a
don't believe
problem
in
with it,
censoring either, but I mean, for the subject, I'd like it if they would want to listen. So for the subject, I will censor for just that alone because I don't want them being deterred because, I'm not censoring in this case. So basically, you were mentioning that parents were coming to you about their teenagers having adverse reactions to like day to life situations, and they're reacting in ways where they're like wanting to off themselves because of that. So you mentioned that I'm going to be delicate about it because I mean I know you meant no harm. You mentioned that basically you felt that they didn't understand their situation, and what they felt wasn't actually trauma, was just them either overreacting or not fully understanding what trauma means. Maybe if I'm right.
Yeah, you're correct. I
Oh,
just want to add in that I'm not saying that people at that age don't have trauma. I'm not saying that it's not a thing at their age. So there are some people that actually do go through trauma that young, but from what I know about the particular the individuals that I'm talking about now, they they actually have it pretty well. I mean, they have parents that truly love them, who actually do the more than the more than the bare minimum for them. They they give them they'll even go so far as to give them stuff that they really don't have the money to give them. They and But then they have situations where little things like like as you already mentioned and as I mentioned in the previous video, they'll say they'll say things like life sucks because every day is just the same as the last one. I'm bored, and or it seems like people are not talking to me anymore. Then they call that trauma. And to me, and you gotta realize something about me. I'm uh, I'm no stranger to being mistreated by others. I've actually been bullied a lot when I was a kid. I was definitely not the popular kid in school, and I was lucky that I even had one friend at all that I could depend on in school. Did it hurt? Yeah. Did it suck? Oh yeah. Does it suck when I get betrayed today at the age I'm at? Yeah. Would I ever dare call any of that trauma on my part? No, I wouldn't.
okay. So this is where I used so okay, to correct not correct to clarify, I used to think exactly like you did in regards to that. Um, I thought of the situations in my life as not traumatic because I dealt with it. I'm fine. I'm living. I'm not, here suffering over woe is me, situations happen, blah, blah, blah. However, turns out a lot of things in my life have been traumatic, and I just overlooked it because society told me to overlook it because I was too young to understand. Or I was overworking it, or I was just a teenager, and it's just teenage antics, and I should just regard it as that. When in reality, that created it created a problem in me to where I don't speak about my problems because I feel like my problems don't exist. And what that did was cause a lot of problems to the point where I don't even seek out therapy because I feel like my problems are not worth it because I don't want to kill myself, so therefore I don't need therapy. But there's a lot of problem in that.
Well, yeah, that's jumping
Because,
from one extreme to another, just to at opposite ends.
well, yeah, I mean, so not that, I ever want to kill myself, and not that I'm not saying that. Well, that's why, because there's a room there. Okay. Um, I'm not saying that whatever, I'm losing my brain here. I'm not sure where I'm going with that right now because my brain's not wanting to work. I don't know. I feel like because I was told all my life that my problems are simply not problems. They're just, it is what it is. Because I don't want to kill myself, therefore I don't have any trauma or whatever. Not saying that I do or don't have trauma. Basically downplaying how I feel or how I felt all my life because people tell me that I don't have it that bad. Like, I don't know how many times I had friends telling me that my problems were actually problems because my parents actually loved me and my parents actually treated me well when I really hope they never see this video. When in reality, my parents were, in their own right, sometimes just as bad as some bad parents, so to speak, because they have their own issues. Now, here's where I differ from most people is that I'm not trying to downplay this, is that my parents were simply, doing their best. I realize that now as being a parent myself. And now, granted, that doesn't excuse them for what they did, but I'm willing to forgive what happened because I understand that they did their best. Again, it doesn't excuse it. Again, it doesn't take away the pain that I did feel. There is quite a few trauma issues that I do have because I just learned to deal with the problem rather than voicing my opinion or seeking out help. Because I felt back then, which very well likely probably would have happened back then if I would have sought out help, I would have been told the same thing that I feel like we were all told back then, is that my problem isn't really a problem and therefore I should just suck it up. Whereas nowadays, I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to, it's really sensitive. Nowadays it's really hard to differentiate how to deal with things because kids are either presented with, kids are constantly on technology and, everything being out in the open. There's nothing really private anymore, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. So, there's that whole novelty that everybody gets to know what I'm feeling all at once, where at the same time, everybody gets to know what I'm feeling all at once, and that's a problem. So you get either labeled as being overdramatic or not sharing enough, or whatever the case may be. So that can cause a lot of problems. I feel like I'm getting off track here, but the point is
You're not.
when it comes to, I don't know. I feel like I'm trailing off.
No, you're not.
I can feel myself trailing off. The point I'm trying to get at is that I don't know what's going on with this teenager, but I have a feeling that, and this is just me speculating. I've never talked to these people, but I have a speculation that even though she has everything, and her parents go above and beyond for her, which is great, not everyone has that. I feel like because of that, maybe it's causing it in its own way a weird trauma. And unfortunately, it's so stupid that it causes this kind of trauma because nowadays there's a problem where if you don't have trauma, then that's a problem because you're normal and we're freaks and we have trauma and you don't understand us, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And so now you're canceled out because you don't have problems and we do. So then what it does is that window is higher. Why is that? The fuck did I do here? Hi. Hold on. I'm confused. Anyway, it causes its own problems because now people are trying to one up each other in trauma,
Which is a problem too.
Yeah, which is a massive problem because now we have kids trying to. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. What the hell? Did I do it all? Oh my god, this whole side. Did I do it? Ah, oh, no, mother. I'm so upset right now. Oh my god. Okay, I have to fix that. This one up 2 blocks right here, yeah? This one didn't. It's just one. Anyway, so yeah, it's causing a competition of who can one up each other on, trauma issues. And that just causes people to like literally getting themselves in situations they shouldn't be in because, oh, my friend went through a rape situation, I should go through it too. Oh, good, it's only that wall, thank God. And so it causes a bunch of other problems, and that sucks when that happens because how do you compete with that? You can't. I mean, you just simply can't. The only suggestion I have for those kind of situations is that you have to communicate with your child and let them realize that it's okay to talk to you, regardless of what's happening. And even if your friends are trying to one up you, you don't have to be like them. I think what the biggest thing here is that you have to make your children realize that it's okay to talk to your parents. And even if your parents don't understand you, or even if your parents are going above and beyond for you and you feel like that's like unfair somehow because your friends don't have that and you do. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for that person who's having that problem. I mean, I have no idea why she thinks the way she does. It sounds like she's acting out. It sounds like she is trying to call for help, and unfortunately, nobody's, you know, really sitting her down and kind of really talking to her or putting it or making her feel like she's safe in a situation where she can talk. So, I mean, it could be a multitude of things, but the one thing I wanted to get from your video was I wanted to make sure that even though that teenager is seemingly maybe overreacting or maybe not using the right word, maybe trauma isn't the word she should be using, or maybe trauma is the word she should be using, doesn't matter. What matters is that we don't try to compare one's trauma to another's trauma, if that makes sense. Regardless of where it comes from.
Yeah, I agree. If I may, if I may explain myself a little more, part of the
Go ahead.
part of the problem with
Chit-chatting
my
too long.
part of the problem with my latest or with my latter heart to hearts videos, is I don't have all the time in the world to get as detailed as I would like for multiple reasons. One, you and I have talked about this before. People just don't have that kind of attention span anymore. People don't want to watch the longer videos anymore. So between that and the fact that I want to put my heart to heart videos on TikTok as well for as long as TikTok will last, they have to be 10 minutes or shorter. And that so when you're in a situation like that, you gotta kind of
Yeah.
somehow get it down to where you have the general details, but it does leave a lot to be desired in terms of the details. Now, with
That's
that
just videos
said,
in general. Yeah.
huh?
That's just videos in general, unfortunately. How did a frog get up here? I don't understand that.
Now the
Go on.
thing is the thing is a lot of people have a tendency, and I'm speaking from actual experience and from what people have told me, they have a tendency to get my words twisted, not on purpose, but they will actually confront me later on and claim I said something in a video that I know for a fact I did not say. And I have to actually correct them on it. And in my last video, I wasn't trying to. I'm not invalidating the problem. I'm not saying, oh, this person doesn't really have problems, because I remember when I was a teenager, and I even acknowledged the fact that I know how it feels. I understand when you're at that age, you have your emotions pretty much skyrocket, and you tend to feel things more around that time, and the loneliness can feel unbearable. The hurt can feel unbearable. I'm not denying any of that. What I'm just saying is when we say there are people that have it worse, we're not saying it to invalidate the person that and their feelings, because they're still because from personal experience that I listen to people when they need to talk and when they need to vent, and not once did I ever say to anyone, "Well, you don't have problems." You're just gonna have to suck it
Right.
up and get over it. I never once said that. What I'm saying is the reason I brought up how there are people that have it worse is because it allows us to look at our situation in a new light. We're able to see it as, yeah, it sucks. I mean, this doesn't nullify the situation. This doesn't make it so oh, we don't have a problem at all. But it does allow us to see the good that we do have. So when I compared the two, the one who was a assault survivor and the other person, I was doing the comparison because it shows things could actually be worse, and that it's not. And yeah, if that person were to open up and talk and vent about their issue, about their friends at school and everything, I think people should listen and people should be there to comfort that person. But when
Unfortunately,
every
that's not
single,
always ideal.
huh?
Unfortunately, that's not always ideal. People don't always want to just sit there and listen to other people's problems. But yeah, go
But
on.
at the same time, when the number one solution is to end yourself and to end your life, and that's pretty much like the one and only solution that they have, and they treat it like that's the only desire they have, and that's their number one solution, fix it all, then that's a problem,
Okay.
especially when it's done over things that I just listed off. And it's
No,
okay
I
to be
agree. I agree with you there. I mean,
it's okay to be upset over those situations. It's okay to be hurt by it. It's okay to be angry, and it's okay to vent about it. And people should care. But in the end, when you look at the bigger picture, it still seems like such a small thing to want to end yourself over when there's still good things. I get
yeah.
treated like crap all the time still by different people, but at least I know I still have people that care about me.
Who would that be? I'm joking.
Oh, gee, I wouldn't know.
License manager.
Anyways, the point is it's like, but it's like two things get under, or actually, there's I'll even list them off just so people understand more of what bothers me the majority of the time. I hate hypocrisy. That gets under my skin with ease. So if you want to get under my skin really quick, be a hypocrite. But also things that don't make sense. For example, a lot of the people that don't like me have actually admitted that they don't have a real reason for not liking me. They just don't. And it isn't just a me thing. I even before I
Hold on,
encountered a
Stat, okay?
situation, huh? I'm sorry, what?
One moment.
Oh, okay.
Keep going though, okay?
Okay. Um, it isn't just a me thing. Even before I encountered this situation myself, I actually saw a TV show where someone was actually nice to everybody but this one character, and this one character tried to be nice to this person. For all of you that are wondering what show I'm talking about, it's Becker, which, yeah, I'm partially revealing my age again. Well, anyways, this lady was trying to be nice to this elderly woman who treated her like garbage, but everybody else on the show she was nice to. And then at the end of the show, when she finally confronted the lady and said, "How come you are nice to everybody else, but you're mean to me?" She says, "I don't like you." And she asked, "Well, why don't you like me?" And she's like, "I just don't. I don't have a reason. I just don't like you." Now, if you it's one thing if someone does something to you or if someone rubs you the wrong way. I mean, I get that those things make sense. But to not like someone just for the sake of not liking them, that does not make sense now, nor will it ever make sense to me. And what do you know? I've actually experienced it. There are people at work that don't like me, and they've even flat out admitted that they don't even have a real reason to not like me. They just choose not to. I've had to learn to accept that. I'm okay with people not liking me. And it just bothers me when people choose to dislike people and not have a real reason to it. So hypocrisy bothers me, and the world is just drenched with hypocrisy, unfortunately. Then you've got this insanity of people just choosing not to like people with no good reason to it. That's messed up. You'll never convince me otherwise to that. And one other thing that gets under my skin is the lack of closure. The times that I've been betrayed, the times that people have abandoned me, those people, they never explain themselves. They never say why. They just back out, and they won't give you a reason for it. And that lack of closure just leaves a hurt, a pain, an emotional pain that just doesn't go away anytime in the near future. So having experienced those things firsthand, I know what it's like to feel emotional pain. I do. It sucks. It really does. So no, I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's feelings. I actually feel for the person that we are talking about. I really do. I wish that they were happy. And if they are mistreated by others, well, shame on them for mistreating her the way they are. I just want people like her to learn that life isn't perfect, life isn't fair, but life doesn't need to be perfect, nor does it need to be fair in order for it to have things in it that you can enjoy, things that you can love, things that can make you happy. The things I listed off don't make me happy, but there are things in this world that do make me happy. I have family that loves me. I've got friends that like me. I got video games I enjoy playing. So yeah, it's a mixed bag. Life is full of stresses, sadness, anger, whatnot, but it also has love, happiness, fun. So it comes down to, but the point is we have to learn how to control our emotions, and I know that's an easier said and done thing. It really is. But the thing is that's why we need to, when we raise our kids, we need to teach them, yeah, you're going to have moments where it just seems like life sucks. But we need to train ourselves during those times to be able and yeah, it's going to give you a nails on a chalkboard feeling. Believe me, I know from experience. But that's when you have to train yourself to focus on the good things and let that decrease the negative things. Will the negative things go away? No. But it certainly will make it easier to bear.
I agree. So yeah, I feel like that really kind of cleared everything up for sure. And anybody who listens to this hopefully will get a better understanding just in general between two of us talking. So I really hope that helps.
Actually, I'm glad that you said what you said, because I agreed with a lot of what you said too.
Right.
And I think you contributed a lot in a good way.
You think so? I hope
Yeah.
so.
Sometimes we need someone with the experience, and sometimes we need multiple people with multiple experiences because, like you said, it's different for each person.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. Is that I hope that if anybody were younger or older were to listen to both videos, will understand that neither one of us meant harm, and neither one of us meant to act like they know the subject more than the other, and that ultimately we were just talking about a subject that typically is not talked about too much because it is a very delicate topic.
Oh, I won't lie. This
Yeah.
this will probably anger a lot of people that hear it, but
I'm going to say that right now. Or say right now, if this angers anybody, shove off. Like, it's an open discussion. This is a free country. If you're not from this country, well, whatever. But we're allowed to speak about subjects that typically aren't spoken about because exactly that, they're not spoken about enough, and they need to be. Simple as
oh
that.
yeah, you and I have. I won't get into details for the viewer's sake, and plus because it's kind of off subject. But you and I used to have different discussions on both politics and religion, and there's a lot of things you and I disagree on, but we never let that get under each other's skin.
Yeah, exactly.
And unfortunately,
And
there aren't enough discussions like that. Too many people are at each other's throats. Too many people want to say, "Well, I don't want to be friends with you anymore because your beliefs don't align with mine completely."
yeah. Well, and the thing is I feel like if you're not willing to be open and have open discussions with people, then how are you supposed to change the world as you want to change the world, so to speak? If you're not willing to openly communicate with people who have different thoughts than you, then what's the point?
It's as what they say on TikTok. People anymore prefer to be in their echo chambers.
Oh, Jesus, I hate that. That's a good word for it, though. Never heard of that term.
You never heard of that term before?
No, first time.
Where people just want to speak to people that they already know share their beliefs 100%.
Huh.
And they want to
I mean, I get it.
silence. Huh?
I get it, though.
And they want to silence all the people that don't share their beliefs.
Wow. Basically, they just like hear the sound of their own voice.
Yeah. And as for me, though, when it comes to me listening to debates, I'm not someone who, for a lack of a better way of putting it, takes sides necessarily, unless the sides are just that extreme. I'll listen to both sides, but I actually dissect and zone in on details of what people are saying, and for that reason, I'll be like, well, I disagree with what this person here said, but they said something, they said a few other things that I actually do agree with, and I share the same opinion with the other side. It's like, well, they said this. I don't agree with that, but I do agree with this piece here that this person offered up here.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, I disagree 100% or I agree 100%. That's never something I do unless it, like I said, there are two extremes.
Yeah. Well, I love this talk. I do have to go to lunch, however, so I'll have to
That's
end it short.
understandable. With that said, just as a reminder to everyone, check out her channel. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. She is going to actually start posting video games on it soon. What would you like to name off your first game that you're going to post?
Not yet. It's a secret still.
Secret still. Okay.
Secret still. But I will be posting some TikTok videos if you want to. I don't know, share my TikTok account. The Crystal Dream Creations, which, by the way, it's not really studios anymore. I mean, it's still affiliated, but I want to go more creations because it's more about what I create rather than just a studio. So
I don't know if I can post your TikTok link at the end of the video, but I certainly will try to
well,
post
you
it
put it
in
in
the
like in the
description.
comment. Yeah, the description comments is what I meant.
Yes. So, with that said, okay, Lil, say goodbye to the viewers.
Bye. Well, okay, hold on. Wait. Hi. Okay.
Tell them you love them.
Oh no! Well, come on. I have to be gross.
Tell them you love them.
I don't want to. No.
Tell them you love them.
No, that's forcing my love upon them. No, they don't want that shit.
Fair enough. Anyways, I hope that this video helps anyone out, like Lil said, who listens to it. And anyways, my name is Statton. Like, share, and subscribe. Remember that you are not alone, and you all have yourselves a wonderful day.
Dude.